back into it, guys. The VALORANT Champions Tour Stage 2, and we've got a couple of teams who are looking to grab all that they can when it comes to the race to Reykjavik. My name's Tanner Metro. Joining me again, still Vancillion. We're 3 games deep now. We're hopping over to Haven. We said it in the last series that if Cloud9 Blue could get us here against 100 Thieves, they could take the series. Now we get to see it. It's against version 1. And they have so much momentum coming from this map right here.
As much as we want to talk about momentum for C9 Blue, I think overall it's the pressure for both of these teams, because both of these teams want to prove so much in this scene right now.
Yeah.
C9 Blue technically has been quote-unquote down bad, right? Looking at the bigger events. Looking at actually C9 Blue in general, have they won anything ever since they were C9 Blue? Nothing since the last tournament that they played in a Nursery Gamers Monthly, and now it's like, okay, we might have a solution right now. It didn't look good versus 100 Thieves. It didn't look good on the first map versus version 1. But now you're seeing that potential that we're talking about for C9 Blue, and they have a potential to make it there. Version 1, they've been so close to even qualifying into the close qualifiers of the VCTs for the longest time for version 1. And now they have that opportunity after even upsetting a team like FaZe. Now you get into the third map, you have a chance to make it into the regional final. So as both of them are grasping so close to this like Fall Guys Cup in the end of that race, you want to know who's going to dive and be able to grab it.
Yeah, 100%. And I would imagine now, just based off of the script that we've written, it was a 13-6 on Icebox, a 13-8 here on Split. Haven probably proves to be a bit closer. And when we take a look back at those bans, when Cloud9 automatically bans Bind, it kind of just puts the next ban for version 1 to be Ascent, which is the lesser of the evils, basically, because they're 70% or above on a lot of these maps, and Haven is one of them. So although we know Cloud9 Blue can be strong on Haven, they're still going against a very strong version 1 squad. And Split and Icebox I kind of put in the same realm when it comes to like awkwardness in the maps. Now that we're jumping back to Haven, I feel like this is where we get a whole lot more of that default Valorant.
Yeah, the default Valorant, especially now that you're going to have potentially player 1 going into a Cypher, potentially even Mitch going into a Cypher as well. Utility for both of those players as a Sentinel has been very good. Where you kind of see this difference of duelists will be more, again, Zelsis and Leaf. Where I think most recently Leaf has been going with a Phoenix, while version 1 has been playing Zelsis on a Reyna. And Reyna has been switched about, I think, for a bit too for version 1, but it seems to be that winning recipe here for version 1 going into this third map. So who's going to be the stronger duelist going into this one? Who's going to have the stronger composition? Because for the rest, I think it's still pretty similar. Sovas, Omens, Jets most likely too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to that Reyna versus Phoenix diff from both of these teams.
And so we've seen a little bit of the flirting with the operator from the Jets. We saw Penny actually force one up with no armor at all, so full glass cannon in the middle of their defensive end. Haven is a map where it's almost...
You're going to get it.
Yeah, it's frowned upon, basically, not to run the operator. So I'm really... I know coming into this one, we didn't get to take a look at a graphic, but when we were talking about head-to-head, it was Penny versus Poise. And I'm glad that we get this far into a map like Haven, where we should really get that head-to-head between the two Jets, you know, using the operators. We saw Split was cool because it was like Battle of the Blade Storms for the most part. Now we're going to get the Battle of the Operators.
Exactly, because I think even in the first map, you didn't see a lot of opping going on. The second one was the Blade Storms. The third one probably is going to have both, right? When you're going to battle for that A long side, you're going to op on the top of B, or you're going to op towards long C. You want to have that Jet versus Jet because there's not going to be a breach technically in any of these compositions. So and no Sky. So Guided Light to push some players out or not, it's not going to happen. It's going to be that Silva with the Cloud Burst, and then just go for that all-out aim battle between these two teams. So I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be very tight as well as that third map because both of these teams are still very strong. You look at the history of Cloud9 Blue, they have played this map a lot and like pretty much just playing that map. So they are strong on this map. But version 1 is as strong too. And again, I think where they get the slight edge here for version 1 or in these scenarios where they might have to go for half buys with their Buckies and SMGs, and it pays off in their favor. But for the rest, in terms of execution and how they play on the defender side, I have to give that edge to C9 Blue.
It's and a lot of it does boil down to the experience, right? Like you said, Cloud9 Blue have a lot of plays on this map. This version 1 squad just recently starting to piece things together as we get to take a look. There it is, the Reyna locked in for Zelsis. We are Zelsis. We'll see how that one plays out. And it's looking like, again, flashless for the most part for Cloud9. They are still opting into basically the poise, leaf, holding each other's hands, jumping right on in, and starting on the attacking side. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and they actually went back to like their second comp, because if I look back at the history of them playing on Haven since Nursery Gamers Monthly into the VCTs into this, everything else stays the same for the other players for Cloud9 Blue. But where Leaf went from Raze to Phoenix, even at that point. Actually, even in the first iteration, you had Mitch on Cypher, Zeta on Sova, Relics was playing Breach, Poise was on Jet, and then that allowed Leaf to play Omen instead. But when they went back to like, okay, let's go with double duelists instead, using Leaf and Poise at an advantage, it was Raze at first. It worked for a bit. Phoenix has had some good results as well for Cloud9 Blue on this map, but they decide to revert back to Raze. Is it actually to try to counter against how Zelsis could be? We'll find out.
And this is, we talked about a map where both of these teams strong on it. We talked about the operators coming online and default Valorant. I'm keeping my eye on both Player One and Mitch as well, because the lurks that the Cypher, the space that your Cypher can gain is absolutely huge on Haven, especially with the 3 sites. So as a viewer, I know sometimes it gets easy to just take a peek at what's going on the screen, but please pay attention to that mini map to see what these Cyphers are getting done as we look to kick things off. The spike down in the spawn, it's looking like quite possibly a hit towards Garage.
And you wanted to look at that minimap. Instant cameras right now from both Cyphers. One to watch B, the other one on the top of the door. It's going to spot the Jet. It's going to tag him, but they still have Mirage control now for C9 Blue.
Yeah, and they just jump right into it. There we go. The spike to be picked up in all of that pressure in hopes to buy out a rotation. And it does look like Effie's is going to buy into it. I thought maybe they keep him on that A site, but instead it's going to be 5 players stampeding over towards A long. The spike surely to be planted in a 5v4 retake in favor of Cloud9.
C9 Blue are playing a lot of retakes so far. Meanwhile, on that minimap again, an Owl Drone went towards sewers. So they know both long and sewers is clear. The retake's going to be happening from spawn and heaven, and they're in great spots to hold this spike.
Bit of chip damage with that shock dart from heaven. The cyber cage buy some time, and Zeta ready for that recon bolt. Should it be sent by Effie? It does go out, and it's gonna be taken down. Zelsis to find the first lead. Gonna trade it right back through the cloud burst. They will trade positions, and again it's the bodies on side. It's all up to Zelsis. 5 HP on Zeta. He's got to run him down. It's a 4K for the Reyna, and he's got the time for the defuse.
There's one thing that I forgot that just went like a eureka moment for me is version 1 with Zelsis on pistols. Especially on Arena is so good. If it's not a ghost, it's going to be a frenzy. This time it was a frenzy, and that was detrimental for C9 Blue. As much as I said that they were in a great position, that single cloudburst that was thrown from Penny right in the middle of the site between Graffiti and the default boxes, everybody played around that, and you're spraying with the frenzy through the smoke, and you're getting that advantage there for version 1. So that was very well done on a retake. It was very quick and allowed version 1 to get that pistol.
And it allowed Zelsis to buy up a Vandal in this round with full armor.
And 1 round away, or 1 kill away, or an orb from Empress. He's gonna be on fire probably this 3rd map.
Oh, speaking of on fire, that's gotta feel pretty good. Vanity walking away with 33 HP, but will happily take that trade onto 2 members. Everyone inside the dark cover gets dinked, but not enough to take him down, as it's looking like a flawless round in response. I don't know if Zelsis is going to be able to get an orb, but at the very least, you know, you're all right to take the round win with not having the Empress in the next.
Definitely. So at this point now on a 5 versus 2, you have invested a bit here on the attacker side. You're trying to get something done with the Marshal. Just try to pick up the orbs, I think, at this point. Even if it's not going to surmount to much here for Mitch, because he's still far away from his ult, it's still 1 closer.
And I wonder if, okay, he does actually get, I would say, I wonder with that info, if they give it to Zelsis knowing, hey, he's on Marshall, just run him down there at the end. Either way, it is a flawless round, so a nice bonus coming on through from version 1. And this is that upgraded bonus, right? This is that bonus that has a bit more oomph to it because they bought a Bulldog for Vanity, and Zelsis is on that Vandal.
Not only that, with a Flawless, the bank continues to get built up here for version 1, right? So if they lose against these rifles, you're looking at how much money they're going to have. It's still going to be a very full buy into the next. So version 1's looking pretty good. With this SMGs, you would expect for them to play a little bit closer right now, and you see how they're playing close. They're playing 2 players down towards that sewers, playing that crossfire, but it's actually going to be the rifle of Zelsis that's going to be on point first with the SMG from behind. Thing is, on the attackers, Mitch put the camera up, that spawns long in sewers, so you can't really get that far out for information for version 1. So it's stalemate to start.
A 5-point stance basically across the board with the drone to get some information up towards Garage. That spike still down on the ground will be retrieved by Zeta. They've got a bit of space, but not a whole lot, right? You have that cam inside of lobby, but you didn't push up and get it down lower. Should you recall it, you have to wait the 15 seconds. Oh, but Mitch is still able to be first to the shot to find the kill on Penny, and maybe not expecting another. Yes, he is. The spray down onto Zelsis, and the bonus is starting to fall apart for version 1. The last 2 make it the last one. Bringing up the rear in player 1. It's just the Spectre and Hanny has 4 members to worry about.
Player 1 right now, the last man standing, pretty much at a position where it's going to have that insert your coins to continue into the next round, player 1. This is not going to happen pretty much. The bait was perfect, actually, from where they were positioned on sewers, but I think Zelsis wanted to go for even more of a surprise swing. Oh my god, okay. Good for 2. I think that's going to add a couple of seconds back on the reset for that continues, so you like it for version 1. But overall, I just wanted to get back to Zelsis. I think he wanted to go for that surprise swing instead of playing the tight angle, which is still a good play in my eyes, right? After this, after his teammate fell down right here, because Mitch was already pre-firing on a different angle, so he thought he might be able to catch him off guard. But Mitch, quicker on the reaction at that point.
And that nice spray down from player 1, unfortunately, doesn't win the round, but it does chip away, right? That was the first rifle round. It was Cloud9 being on losses. Now you take a look at this next one. The economy's still not great, and you're going to have to fight for one of these orbs, which it is going to be that one C-Long, gladly given up by version 1 to just try and take the 5-on-5 fights.
Well, they got this Blade Storm from this buy that they have from C9 Blue. Even after this round, they're trying to see if there's going to be anything aggressive coming out. But again, when you have a Cypher into your composition, playing an open C site, playing an open A site with the utilities of the Cypher is totally fine. So they don't need to look for early picks and information on C.
And he gets spotted, unfortunately. Only able to trade damage back and forth, but basically even. Leaf walking out of that one a bit better on the trade. Now it's looking to be a play up towards B again against the rifles. Poise gonna go up top into the cloud burst. The knives come on through. He's got some supplementing damage, but he takes so much on the way out. Relic's able to find another kill, but the B side has since been taken. Zelsis, Effies, Pennies, they have to go to work here. If they don't find something soon, they might opt into a save.
Yeah, and they reacted on that site on B side for Cloud9 without any information. It's just like, let's go for a full-out execute, see what happens. The recon dart and the entry was perfect for Poise.
My goodness, there it is. Perfect for Poise. The right click to find the head. It's a flawless round to tie things up here on Haven.
5 HP remaining for Relics. That's a lot of economy saved right there by staying alive too. So you're just going to buy the Paranoia back, you're going to buy the Shield back, and you don't need to invest none of the 2,900 into a Vandal. So again, the economy continues to get built up, this time in favor of C9 Blue, but that full execution into the site. It's not only how Poise just dashed up towards that B site to get that kill, it's also to secure and make sure that nobody's going to be playing inside B by that recon dart that was thrown by Zeta. So full fast execute seems to be working out. The gambles into B, a harder site to plant, but it turned out to work in favor of C9 Blue.
This round here, round 5, one of the ones that we kind of highlighted for version 1, where they do have this X factor of finding ways to win these eco buys. A couple of Buckies, a Frenzy, and a Sheriff splitting the team. The dash up once more. Poise inside the cloud burst. Bucky from downtown can't find it just yet. 2 members immediately taken off the board. That was one Bucky, one Frenzy. Now you've got a handful of weapons to worry about on this A site, and the shotguns, well, it actually just gets a whole lot worse. A neural theft for the information. No real reason to save here, so we might just see some heroics. Player one up towards heaven. Penny looking to make a play coming out from this defender-sided spawn of this A-Link area. Cloudburst gonna buy some time up top. Leaf low on HP, only 72. Has a showstopper should he need it. Instead, Zeta gonna back him up. Player one taken down, and Penny maybe going up top for the Sheriff. Oh my goodness, a nice little double care to try and turn things around, and there it is. Penny did go up for the Sheriff, finds one kill, looking to hurt the economy, and boy, oh boy, did they do just that.
Dude, that is a round for Zelsis. It's very rare that you see double kills with one Bucky shot, and that was very well done, because yes, I felt that you were questioning a bit why they were backing up, but I think Zelsis felt that that push was coming. Look how beautiful that was. Immediate kills going through. He's going to be able to pick up a rifle on top of that, build ult orbs on top of that for Zelsis. So he's going to be a nuisance to look out for version 1 here for C9 Blue.
And that right there was a left click from the Bucky, which didn't really get nerfed in 2.06. So those left clicks could still prove to be pretty strong here on that upcoming patch, should we see that one come into play. Unfortunately, the Boombot not going to get a whole lot of value, bouncing back towards mid. He's trying to make a play, and it's a quick one over towards B. Leaf right behind him with a showstopper, and again, this kind of acting as that mini lockdown. Mitch, on the other hand, was on the flank. Ends up getting caught out by two flanking, both of the duelists, and Vanity back in the spawn, just mowing them down. They try to go aggressive, but it's immediately stunted. Now Effie's holding down A-Salt all by himself inside the cubby, going to fall. The A-Site not necessarily free, as Zelsis has made his way over, but Zeta, they just keep getting it done. The spike to be planted, but Penny gonna sit down relics, and now it's all up to Zeta. Does he have the clutch gene this time around? Has he space jammed Hiko coming into this series? No, he has not. It's a 3K for Penny. And it was a kill on the lurk to kick things off. Version 1 tie us up again.
That's the small issue of just trying to go into a B split link into A, because again, when I was watching C9 Blue in the beta days, when they were trying to go for that execute, they threw a paranoia into A link, and then they split from sewers into the A link to get into A. The thing is, right now, when you're just going off the back of a showstopper, first off, you're not clearing your angles, you're still running, just focusing on spawn side, where Vanity gets free kills actually from spawn side. And after that trade happens, you still have to check your 50s on Graffiti. You have to check your 50s on sewers. You don't even know there's going to be another flanker on long A at the same time as well, so you've got to look out for that type of stuff for C9 Blue.
And Zelsis continuing to make it hurt playing this Reyna. Forced to use the dismiss to get away, so still sitting on 11 HP. Things aren't too great, but now since the changes on Reyna, you just need an assist, so just a bit of damage could top this Reyna off and put things heavily in favor of version 1. It's Cloud9. They try to gain some control up through Garage, and I mean, they've gained quite a bit. Zeta, this could be huge here.
It's in a great spot right now. But player one, he feels it. So he feels something's coming. Even if when they walk up towards the C site, camera's going to spot him. There he goes. So Poise has been spotted. They know there's going to be some sort of hit towards the C site. It's going to be the biggest battle towards Garage, and it's V1 that wins it.
A nice little crisscross there between Penny and player one, as Effie is going to stop the plant with the shock dart, and you'll love to see the utility kills. Relic's very low as well. He is eventually going to fall. Zelsis, now the last one standing, but he got the heal because of the assist. Boy's only on 36 HP. Zelsis, one tap from the Phantom would get it done. Unfortunately, Poise going to go wide on the shots. He has the blades available should he choose to use them. Cloudburst onto the side, and Poise gets it done.
On my way.
I just have a PogChamp face right now. I'm speechless on how Poise played that so well. That was such a huge gamble, and you see the idea. He throws two Cloudbursts on the ground because Zelsis already knew that he dashed over towards that double stack, right? So there's not going to be a dash for Poise or a Tailwind to try to escape again. So the two Cloudbursts that were thrown is like, well, he might cross back towards that default site. I know that the spike is down towards logs. I'm going to try to get a better angle. But Poise just walks through his own smokes and actually even big brains Zelsis out of that one. And it started off very well on counter plants from version 1 because the shock darts were amazing from Effie's too. This round though, It is going to be a half buy for version 1. It's worked out before. They have the Blade Storm to work with, so it's pretty much a full gun round. See what happens.
Ooh, and Zelsis picks up one. Penny with the knives, able to grab that kill onto Poise, and they're making it work. They're punishing what seemed to be a free play from Cloud9 up towards B, and they're making it hurt. Now it's a play out towards C. Player 1 trying to hold it down, unfortunately, only to get some damage onto Relics as the rest of the squad tries to bring up the rear. Zeta keeps going to work, and Penny on a 12 HP. Now, it's not 36, but he does still have the blades available. He also has 2 teammates to work with as the drone gets a tag onto one, gets a spot on the other. Penny gonna go up top, gets sat down, and Relics just continues to mow him down. Mitch to close it out, and Cloud9 Blue get it done.
These surprise kills that are coming out from Relic so far, like the way that he's just swinging out in the entrances and winning these fights has got to be frustrating on players like version 1 that are posted on perfect crosshair placement and angles. I'm sure you're going to see this. When you're going to look at the person in the back of the spawn sign, no, we're not going to see it, but nonetheless, it's just great. I wouldn't say luck at this point because it still has to be reflexes on Relic's side and just be able to burst the right position to be able to get those kills, and it just continues to be frustrating on version 1 when they have better positioning on these numbers.
Yeah, now that was such an interesting round. They went with 3 rifles and the blades. They had 1 player on a frenzy, so they really put a lot into that half buy, and it doesn't go their way. So you're obviously wishing not only you could have that one back, but this next one, again, it gets so much harder to do anything. Penny forced to use that tailwind to get away nice and early. Unfortunately, not quick enough on the trigger to shoot down that recon bolt was Zelsis. And because of that information, they say, hey, let's not play these close angles. Let's just go somewhere else where we can get the most out of our rifles.
Player 1 hears them all, though. So player 1 hears all this towards Garage, towards the C cubby. You see the Hunter's Fury that's going to try to flush him out. I think it pinged him. No, I didn't ping him. He still gets the kill on it.
Yeah, he's still able to find one onto Relics. 44 HP. Needs to try and find a way to sneak out. No, he's able to find another. The pink shells did come through from Leaf. Try and clear it, and unfortunately towards the back of the site. Penny able to find a kill. Mowing things down. The spike had been planted. Oh my God, Mitch right back to work. 5 kills in the last 2 rounds.
That was so close. I mean, PL1, he did his job. You got to thank him for it. For him to take down 2 players with a frenzy when paint shells are coming, where pre-fired shots are coming as well, he made things a lot easier for version 1 to push back towards the spawn site, surprise the spike hero towards the back of the site too. But again, it's just because they were on this half buy with no shields, pistols. The last remaining members, after all this hiatus gets calmed down, comes back into the favor of Cloud9 Blue. But look at the money remaining right now for C9. They lose this round here, a half buy might come forward. We're in that same situation as we talked about before on Split, where C9 Blue had a pretty good lead. But if you lose this one right now, you have a chance for version 1 to catch up into the game in the first half.
This would be a big one. Pick up, like you said, 3 rounds in a row, starting with this one, would take us 6-6 at the half, which would be the closest that we've seen in this series. We've seen both 8-4 on both maps, and Leaf gonna be quicker on the trigger. The dash away, and Mitch is there to back him up. Mitch is having himself a game. Poise not done yet towards long, turns right back, finds another kill in that neural theft to find the information. Vanity able to trade it back, only taking a bit of damage. And a 2v3, now a 1v3. Player 1 needs to go huge inside of the dark cover. Sprayed through the smoke. Zeta sniffs him out and takes him down. And we don't get an even half here in this one.
We don't get an even half for sure. And C9 Blue, that was just trade opportunities and spacing that was perfect there for their attacker side. It was basically a setup for a bait and switch for version 1 by having somebody hiding at the double stack in the back. And even from the Sova dart that pinged out Poise, it was like, okay, here's the call for us to try to swing out. The first one dies, they get the trade out, but still, C9 Blue had too many numbers on that A side take, and it was just a great push for them to get into the A side in the end. And it's going to be a fast execution towards C. It's going to be a dash and ult at this site too.
Yeah, they did use the ult. I believe they canceled as Poise does dash on, so you called it. Showstopper right behind to create some more space. Gonna take the fight right to Penny, who's able to escape. Only taking a bit of damage on the way out, so not the end of that world. As the spike now landed towards the back of the site, and they're doing a really good job, Vans, of making sure that version 1 gets nothing in these eco buys.
But that's a big ult. So that's +2 towards the back of the site. They only have Buckies right now. What can you do with this retake? Maybe just look for exits, or you just push in with following that paranoia.
Yeah, I mean, it is just red on the kill feed. It's all up to Vanity, who does get 1, but it doesn't matter. Leaf the 3K, a Paint Shells kill, and Cloud9 blue to 8. This is looking very reminiscent of what we've seen as far as rounds go in the last couple of games, but Cloud9 have a chance to make it 9-3 before mounting their defense.
Yeah, and off that ult that came from Vanity, that spotted both players towards that back. I just like how C9 Blue just readjusted their position because they had a lot of time to work with. They still had the Omen covers, the dark covers that are out. They repositioned themselves, and when you see version 1 trickling out from the spawn side with the Buckies, that's how that sea of red basically came out. Literally, everybody just got dropped there on that defense retake, and now it's just going to be the last moment. Anything that you have in your pockets, just try to buy everything that you can and hopefully make this an 8-4 for version 1.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, I was going to say the sticks and stones, because they do have rifles on 4 members, a Spectre on Penny, but player 1 didn't get to buy any of that utility, so only... Okay, never mind. No, he did. He got quite a bit down as Penny actually going to sit the blades down, and now 1 away from the Blade Storm. Could he find another kill here with the Spectre? Not able to do it. It's Leaf to trade it right back. Paint Shells to go out. They're playing the close angle again. Zelsis and Effie's go shoes. They cut it down to the last 2. And Relics and Mitch going to tuck their tails and head to the opposite site. There is that 1 trap wire that was picked up that should get this information. On the back end of it all, it should be an easy retake here for an 8-4 half for version 1.
Yeah, it started with a triple high-low to allow for this high-ho pretty much, because that first person at the bottom of the sewers, the second at mid, the third one at the top. We've seen that before from version 1 with this setup, and it actually catches Cloud9 off guard because they were trying to go for a recon dart thinking that sewers was clear, and they had to meet up with 2 other players on the A-side sewers. So very well done, allowing right now for C9 Blue to have an easier... Or, sorry, version 1 for having an easier retake, and they both take him down for there. So it's going to be an 8-4, as you mentioned before, going into this retake round for version 1. A much neater round, as let's see how C9 Blue plays that defense. I mean, I've watched their VODs yesterday. I was like, this utility play from Mitch on this B side, C side, as a Cypher. I think we're going to see Zeta as with an Odin from time to time as well on this garage. It's not going to be an easy one for version 1, but if Zelsis is able to if Zelsis is able to pop off like he does, it's going to be great to see.
Yeah, and so now coming into this one, for the attacking side for Cloud9, Mitch didn't do a whole lot of lurking, so I'm wondering what player 1 is going to be able to do. You've got 4 rounds to work with to try and get yourself back into this game and then start to mount your comeback or to grab a lead for version 1. And I think player 1, outside of this pistol round, maybe once we get to those rifles, is going to be that player to keep your eye on to see how much space he's able to buy, right? The lurks through A while the play is happening towards B or C and things of that nature, as you see quick and early aggression to grab so much space inside of this A short or A sewers area. And the spike, on the other hand, it's on the opposite side of the map with the duelists.
Yeah, and you see Mitch playing from the top of Heaven side too, right? So with this camera, if they're going to try to get into the A side, he could camera up and see something. But like you said, with this fake on the A side, they get an open C side, and it's going to be a 5 versus 5 retake. So as you talk about, as we have time to talk about it a little bit, you talk about player 1, I see a lot of these Cypher players more going to be playing those cameras to make sure that these pushes don't happen towards mid side B camera and also towards sewers. So look out for that more here from player 1.
And this is, again, kind of a coin flip, although there's 3 sites, but as to where you're going to play that Cypher, and unfortunately for Cloud9, it was over towards the A side, so they don't get to spot this one out too quickly. Leaf going to be the first to fall, but they trade the kills right back. No, Penny and Vanity say, no way, Jose. It's all up to Relics. A very healthy Omen, but not healthy for much longer. The best way to mount your comeback is the pistol right there for version 1.
That was very good. And just to continue on this type of like Cypher play, and the reason why I say that for player 1 is because I don't see him lurking that much on this map for for Haven. I could be wrong, but some players I could think about in terms of Cypher players that could do these lurks were like early days of beta where Def was using that a lot. Even Brax was doing that a lot for T1, and now with TSM, we'll see how he plays and how he evolves as a Sentinel player, as a Cypher player for that team. But really, a lot of these other Cypher players is place that camera as you see right now from player one. Make sure that there's not going to be any pushes towards that A side. If not, put a camera towards that front of B. Make sure there's not going to be any type of B side pushes to allow a slow map control now for a default on the attack. And that's what we're seeing from version 1 right now. Slow pacing towards grass side, slow pacing towards long C, while we have actually a stack of C9 Blue on an eco on the C side. So this could be huge.
They do spot out Zeta, but they don't catch anybody else. Now they might know the Cypher here as well. Shorty inside of the Cloudburst. Mitch can be up close and personal. Finds one, and Poise is there to back him up. Only one kill traded back thus far, as I say, at player one. Starts to mow him down. Spectre in hand. The run and gun is just a bit too strong. The bucket from the back of the site, though. Leaf trying to grab everything he can, but it was not a whole lot. Now Relics with the frenzy has since rotated over, upgraded, and knocked down to 22 HP through the dark cover. Penny with the Vandal in hand will close it out, and version 1 will grab one more. But here we go. Can Cloud9 continue with this lead as they find themselves on rifles?
So you're happy with this now, right? It's going to be only 2 players that you lost basically against the anti-eco that you had versus the eco of your opponents. So your bonus could still be there for version 1. They don't have to try to invest that much. As you can see, Penny is trying to go for just a frenzy, potentially because they're going to smoke up towards long C. He could pick up the orb, then he's going to have Blade Storm, and it's going to be a very good bonus for the team after.
Yeah, and this play is something that I always battle with in my solo queue games, but it's like, hey guys, if you died in round 2, just make sure you can buy going into round 4. This is a bonus. We're kind of expecting that we're going to be on the lower half of this round. We might even lose it, but then we come back with rifles, and let's do that. Now, speaking of lose it, version 1 not looking to do that here. It is that upgraded bonus. Unfortunately, player 1 gonna fall. That was the other Vandal on the squad as Mitch just barely dodges out. Finally gonna get spotted, and there's those blades. They've come online. They found a kill. Dash onto the side. Both the duelists are now here. Zelsis able to take his leave with the dismiss, and it's all up to Relics out towards CT. It's a 1v1, and the spike now in the hands of Vanity. Haven is his oyster. The ult away to go backside B, 59 HP. The shots are not on target. It's B1 to grab this front.
That's crazy. Now, at first, let's talk about what? There's just so much to talk about in that round. Yeah. So, first off, they didn't smoke up towards top C to pick up the orb, which was really quite surprising for me for version 1. So they really gambled at that one. Not afraid of a peek coming out, but they use it off an Aladrone, so I do get that part. But then a great entry, and you saw the way that things happened there for Relics. He tried to go for a fake teleport, so he teleported into the same spot. But because Vanity continued to push from the C side, he definitely hears where Relics is going to be coming out from. So that's why he targeted out towards Gong the whole time. And just unfortunate for Relics, he was outread by Vanity that allowed version 1 to be able to get that round. And that's going to put C9 Blue back on an eco into this round.
But the blades are online for Poise, so we'll see if the Blade Storm could be what turns the tides and what quite possibly might be that recipe of how to win these eco rounds. As a quick dash comes on through. Vanity's there to back him up. A 2-for-2 we go. FB's going to take down the imposter. Zelsis to find another. And maybe I spoke a bit too soon. I was thinking maybe Cloud9 Blue had taken a page out of the version 1 book and to find a way on these eco rounds. But Mitch, probably not long for this world. And maybe tries to sneak around and find a weapon. You definitely don't want to save that frenzy.
And what I wanted to mention too just before is we actually did see during that hiatus on that previous round that you did have a lurk coming in from player 1.
Looking to make plays. We're kind of just winding down the clock at this point. Mitch is hoping that they try and make a play towards B and he can catch somebody off guard. Not to be the case, as we can see everybody creeping up towards this 8th side off the back end of that owl drone. And I don't think we see the ults here from anybody used. As the spike goes down, it's going to bring FE's 1 away from that Hunter's Fury. And you take a peek at player 1, he's 1 away from the Neural Theft. So quite possibly in that next round we see them fight or an early orb towards C, as we expected them to do for Penny and Mitch. Well, let's see what you can get done here, buddy. Frenzy in hand, the bow. Not going to be caught out in time. 20 HP. Effys finds himself after finding that kill. 8-8 we go, and that's exactly what we were talking about coming to this half, right? You win 4 rounds, and now we got ourselves a game.
Yeah, we got ourselves a game, and we wanted to talk about the operator before. We didn't see it from Penny much from version 1 on their defense, but here it comes. It's pulled out here for Poise. We don't have it for Penny. He's going to keep playing with the rifles too, which is totally fine on the attacker side. But Poise, heavy investment, has to come up huge with this, and it's going to be a double up. So you see how he's opting up towards this B site. Maybe Leaf is going to now push down mid and try to take grass control with Zeta, potentially going for a recon dart or something, or an owl drone. Actually, no, it's just going to be a full-out swing.
This is just about the same play that we saw on Pistol. The only problem for version 1 is the Cypher setup is over towards the C site this time around. So the spike is over there, but it should get sniffed out.
So the owl drone's going to see that the site's sort of clear. It might still be another fake like we saw towards that eco, right? But now the teleport comes into A. We still have relics towards the back of the site, so he's going to hear that. So they know it was a fake towards the C site. It's happening towards the A site, and that big flank is about to come here from Leaf.
Ooh, and Relic's gonna go wide on the shots. Leaf is able to find a kill, now playing out towards A long. Should be able to get quite a bit of value. They have to worry about where the Raze is playing, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the squad just goes to work. Cloud9 Blue back in the win column, and they only lose 2 while doing it.
And that's where I'm saying the camera has to be important towards its mid side if you're not going to use anything else to try to get mid control, right? So, for example, if you're throwing out the recon dart towards grass from Effys, maybe you're going to see if somebody's going to push out towards B. If that's not going to happen, use a camera. They didn't use any of that utility for version 1, and it gave so much map control for C9 Blue. So as they were throwing everything that they could towards that C site, just easier there because you already had Leaf inside window to know the rotations was coming out, or the big footsteps were coming out as well towards that A site.
The economy good for both of these squads this deep into the game, around 18. I believe this is where we're finding our first operator in the hands of Poise. So we'll see what that jet can get done. Awfully deep into the game once more. Barrage control seems to be the name of the game. They spray him down through the wall. The Effys is there to back up Penny, who takes quite a bit of damage on the push. Paranoia going to go through, clear the right side of this C site, and that spike surely to follow. Now the plant goes down. Neural Theft is available, but that's really the only ult they have coming into this one. And Leaf, on the other hand, looking to trade ult for ult. Picks up Effys. Player 1 on the lurk, playing so slow. Coming to the side, uses that Neural Theft to now get everybody online. Where are they playing? It's Poise with 30 HP. It's Relics with 17 points. Still goes to work. Vanity now the last one standing. Finds the shots through the dark cover, but needs to be careful. It's Omen v Omen as Relics looks to push on up. Nice shrouded step to stay away. The fake defuse comes on through. He gets dinked on the way out. The HP is so low for the both of them, but at some point, Relics has to stick the spike. He finds the shots on target, and he's got enough time for the defuse.
Well done there for Relics. As much as I've been checking chat to say he's imposter, he's not an imposter. It's a roller coaster of emotions. Trying to figure out where Relics is going to go with this, but that was very well done there versus Vanity at that point, and he didn't get any pressure from that spike taken away. And these trades, the way that the entry right now for C9 have been really good on this retake, especially when they lost Mitch so early into the round, and that's a lot less utility on the C side, especially when they put the camera up on C and they're trying to get that information out. So Cloud9 Blue, much needed round, they got it back. Now it's going to be some sort of a buy coming in for version 1 because the knives will come out for Penny. And we'll see now that recon dart. We have a Leer to come out towards grass and just a control, actually, on version 1 to start on grass. Owl Drone pushes them back, though.
It definitely makes you rethink. It is going to force out the Owl Drone in response. A trade in utility, even across the board. 2 rounds separating these squads. Mitch Playing off the cam, able to get the tag onto one, quite possibly spots two, and the operator also here on the C side. Zeta actually looking to make a play off the back end. They had the tag, and he actually finds one onto Zelsis. So they've got the information and a bit of damage chipped away on that Reyna. A couple of Devours and Leers in the back pocket could heal it up should he find a kill.
Yeah, if you're happy that you didn't get a kill but some damage, you're happy it's on Zelsis, because like I said, he's been a key player right now for version 1 with the way he's been playing this Reyna, and he's actually going to be the lurk player this time while the rest are going to work towards the A side, using and leveraging player 1 as potentially a second entry.
And they've just read this squad so good. It's another 3-player stack. Leaf in the corner. The kill's going to go back and forth, though. 2 for 2 on the site. Zelsis, unfortunately, unable to find heals because he's lurking over towards C. So it's
Still
not player 1 on the lurk. It's the Reyna.
Correct. That's what I was saying. So while they're using that second one, because they could utilize the utility from... Actually, let's talk about that later. There's no time right now. They have to move quick.
They have to get that spike down, and Mitch is here to try and deny. He has to stick it right here, right now. Vanity needs to try and back up the Sova. The spike goes down, bringing up the rear now through this garage area. Neural Theft online. Vanity's going to be spotted out, taken down, and Mitch continues the killing waves. Oh, beautiful recon. Get the information, and the spray down to follow for Effie.
Oh my god, that was the most king recon dart coming out of Effie's. And with 5 seconds remaining, the most important kill that could have happened was right here. Mitch gets Zelsis, was so close. If he actually did kill Effie's instead, the round was over. But with that, Effie stayed alive as long as he could. He's just trying to play the mind games, and that recon dart and the spray transfer was huge for Effie's in version 1. Everybody else right now in chat that's been harping on Effie's right now, he definitely saved that round for version 1.
Yeah, the impact frags, and if you take a look on the back end, he's 10 and 13. He's got 12 assists. He's been so huge. That's what your Sova, that's what your initiator needs to do. Help your team get on these sites, get the information, and grab those assists. It's basically, I'm going to throw it out there and say your point guard for your team, but I don't know a whole lot of basketball, so I might be wrong on that one. But either way, Effie's is the assist man, and I think we've got ourselves, okay, I thought maybe we were in a timeout for a brief moment, as I'm sure everybody on this map needs a breather.
Yeah, I think that's a huge one, right? Because that is a momentum and morale killer. Because it was 5 seconds remaining. Like I said, getting that kill would have been round over and a victory for C9 Blue if it was actually Effie's that died first. So you take a small pause, you recuperate, you get the sheriff rounds in, a potential tie game right now for version 1 because they have all the momentum going on their side to tie up this game so far. And then you're just going to try to recuperate for C9 Blue. Getting it to 10-10 is not too bad. You still have a couple of rounds to work with.
In version 1, taking a page out of Cloud9's book, taking this B site for free. Sometimes it can be hard to take, and again, it's that gamble. Effie's right back to work. 3 kills, 4, 5 now in the last couple of rounds, looking for some more. The Hunter's Fury is already online, but he saved some for the rest of the squad as version 1 look to tie us up in flawless fashion. And there we go again. Vans knotted at 10.
Knotted at 10 with a flawless, dude. This is good for the economy now. We actually have a game in our hands. Like, we were talking about it while we were on break here, Tanner, that we're like, okay, well, it's nice that we have a 3-map series, but so far we haven't seen a lot of back and forth. We've seen some teams string up some rounds, another team string up a couple of rounds and making it very close, but it never went tit for tat. And now it finally does. 2 rounds, and the last few rounds of this map where it gets super important.
Yeah.
Getting very close to this overtime as well, and getting very close to securing that ticket into the regional finals. This is the 3rd and final map, do or die for both of these teams.
And only a couple more rounds to go again. Hunter's Fury online. Vanity going to use that from the shadows for the information. They're looking to take the C site. Penny goes right up top inside of that cloud burst. There's the Hunter's Fury, and they're going to work on the site. 2 kills, make it 3, make it 4. Relics on the flank needs to go huge, but you can tell it's all version 1 all day here in round 21. FBs to close it out. The air horn on top of it all. And version 1, for what seems like forever, have finally found themselves in the lead.
This is what I'm talking about. the sticker or the spray that came out with the air horn shows how they're still celebrating from 2 rounds ago when Effie's clutched that 3 versus 1. This is probably going to be the round-winning series for Effie's clutch, because now they're at a point where they could bring this into series point. It's a broken bye right now for C9 Blue. Couple of judges, only one judge, one Bucky, couple of sheriffs, and 2 classics. Okay, there you go. There's the Buckies out. You're really trying to bring your money down right and gambling it. That's why we have this pause. It's like, okay, what can we buy as utility? What can we buy as weapon? Should we buy big shields, small shields? We just want to make sure that we have enough just in case this doesn't happen for us to win, that we could bring this into overtime with more money. They're 1 point away from getting an alt point for Leaf. Right now, if you're looking at this mini-map, nobody's really set up to try to fight for that A-side orb. Because again, if Leaf dies, he has the showstopper into the next round. So there's a lot of gambling going around. There's a lot of decisions that has to be made where the round continues to be crucial here for C9 Blue.
Yeah, that timeout, basically one of those math breaks where you're seeing, okay, what's the best we can get here to make sure we can buy in the next, should we lose this next one? It does eke out to be 2 sheriffs, 3 Buckies, a body shot onto Penny to start to chip away. We've yet to see either of these teams in the last couple of maps pick up these thrifty victories. For Cloud9 Blue, things aren't boding to be all that incredibly well. The spike going to be planted down towards that default position, and we're in a 5v5 retake.
That means they have a lot of utilities, right? They just let an open site. Look at what we have. The Parano is about to come out. It's getting bloody.
Ooh, they drop onto the sites. Utility starting to get some values, or the eco is starting to get some values. Those Buckies coming online, but Penny's able to spray down too. 3 HP trying to stay alive, and Effie's is there to back him up. Zeta just trying to go through the smoke. The spray down to come on through. It's up to Zeta to get it done, and he can't do it. It's Effie's once more for a 3K, and it's version 1 to battle all the way back, who now have Cloud9 Blue on map point.
Okay, you have a showstopper now for Leaf. It's going to be a full rifle round for C9 Blue, so that pause was definitely needed to get their money right.
Yeah.
They killed 3 players from version 1. Let's look at their money right now. 18, 21, 75, 47, 50, 45. They're still very good right now for version 1 for the next 2 rounds. So you have to win this next round, not losing any players at all for C9 Blue, just to make sure that you could stay tit for tat with the amount of economy and weaponry you can bring into the last and final round if needed. And it starts off super well with Leaf.
That's the best way to do it. And you can see version 1 feeling themselves coming into this one. Okay, it showed operator for a second. I don't know if Vanity must have maybe dropped that one and has a rifle as well, or my eyes deceived me there for a second. Either way, version 1 had so much momentum, and Leaf just stunts it all.
And that's Zelsis to fall too. A huge one to start things off here to make it, to add some hope for C9 Blue fans. And also, you saw the Al Jones kiss, so there's not much information, and that pressure is up. Look how C9 Blue, they're not moving anywhere. They're not trying to get map control. Play the numbers to your advantage. Such a passive A site. Double trap wires right now towards the A site entrance. Camera, they're going to play retake with this off the showstopper as well. Let's see what happens.
Here we go. Spike to be planted. Mitch still holding it down. Trapwire's going to be taken down, and gonna wait for the team to bring up the rear. Like you said, Leaf has the showstopper. Paint shells available as well, so a whole lot of chaos to be created, but there it is. It's off the board. Vanity with a huge kill, and Penny to follow up, both from heaven. Now taken down. They funnel in from the back of the side into the cloudburst. They will go poised, trying to buy some space, buy some time. It's the blades in the hands. It's all up to 1, but that's going to be it. Version 1 battle back 8-4 and take the series 2-1.
What a battle. No matter what, ladies and gentlemen, you have to put your hands together of how good this series was between version 1 and Cloud9. We couldn't ask for a better matchup right now, actually, on this stream. Like this, we've seen a lot of one-sided maps, a lot of one-sided series in the quarterfinals, but to get into the moment where you're facing elimination for either of these teams, I'm getting goosebumps from my arms all the way down to my shorts. This has been a great series from both of these teams, but commiserations to Cloud9 Blue. It's not technically over for them yet. They don't have to go back to that gauntlet of playing the open qualifiers to Challengers 2, But if you're version 1, you're happy with that ticket that you just punched into the regional finals.
Absolutely. It doesn't get any more important than this stage 2, because not only is it the first international competition that we're going to take a look at, but it's only 2 teams from NA that get to go. And like you said, version 1, they hang on a bit longer to put their names in the hat for that running of the regional finals. As we take a look back at what was an incredibly close game, and a lot of it towards the end came down to the impact frags of Effie's there. He picked up a 3K in that clutch spray down. He helps out Penny in that spray down over on that A site, and then even picked up the last kill, I believe, at the end of everything to make sure that version 1 get the win. And man, this was an absolute barn burner, Vance. Honestly, it doesn't get any better than that outside of, maybe going deep into overtime, which even then I think this is probably a better game.
Yeah, and with those 5 rounds in a row, that clutch from Effie's, was it at round 18 or 19 or 20? Nonetheless, just getting those kills and breaking the economy and bringing the momentum shift, for version 1, you saw that it definitely ran away with that one. That morale boost was huge for Effie's. And even look at him, he's still at 2.5 KDA. That was still pretty good. At 236 efficacy, it's pretty big right now for version 1. Yes, I would like to give the MVP to Penny at the top, but it's definitely going to have to be Effie's for that round.
Yeah, absolutely. When you take a look at the MVP, you see a whole lot of combat score, you see a whole lot of kills, but in that 2.5 KDA, outside of the impact frags in the latter half of the game, Effie's also had so many assists, right? At one point, he had 12 assists to his name, and I believe player 1 was right behind him with 10. So I think a stat that usually goes overlooked, and that's what your initiator brings to the table. It's playing off the back end of the information that you give them that nets you those assists, that allows or enables your team, right? The initiator is like initiator / enabler, because that's exactly what they do. And man, we got a whole lot of that today. That was actually insane. From Icebox to start today against 100 Thieves for Cloud9 Blue. Then this last map, both of those going 13-10, both of them back. A nice sandwich of just solid Valorant. And I have to give a whole lot of credit to the jacket that you're wearing, because that's probably what did it. That summoned the Valorant games that we got today. So the swag brought it out.
Thank God I'm broadcasting from a basement, so it's not that hot or warm in this basement in Canada right now. Spring has just started, so wearing this spring jacket for me seems to be working into the basement. And yes, we got blessed with some very good games. But overall, you talked about initiators too. I unfortunately didn't see as much of Zeta as I wanted to on that third map of Haven as we did on that second and first map. I don't know if it's because I guess you didn't see much recon darts coming out, or even the Allen drone that came out from the garage side from time to time. There was nobody that was actually working behind that one too, right? Because for a lot of these moments, it was Zelsis being able to get those entries and not allowing C9 to play a numbers advantage either. So looking at them on a defense, where I said it was pretty good for C9 on defense and it was going to be tough for version 1, I eat my words. When you got players like Zelsis playing the way that he does, and you got these fakes that were being perfectly displayed from version 1 at that point, pushing towards the A side, going back towards C, the lurk from Zelsis towards C, the lurk from Vanity. It's worked out very well for this whole team. Sorry, the lurk from player 1. It's looked very well for version 1 on how they played the attacker side of Haven.
Yeah, and that goes to, you had said player 1 sometimes in the past doesn't like to play that lurking style, will play with the team, but you can see what version 1 are getting created, right? They're being creative. They're trying to spread this, whatever the team may be, they're trying to spread them thin across the site. So hats off to them for, again, punching their tickets. Now, they're not done in the tournament. They do still have to make this lower bracket climb, and I don't know how that matchup on the other side of things turned out, but we can take a peek back at our head-to-head. I don't believe we got it before the matchup, but it was going to be Penny and Poise. I will say I'm a little disappointed we didn't get as much operator action, but we got so much Blade Storm action that I shouldn't be upset.
And that's the most important one too, I think, because with the Blade Storms are allowing to have Jet being activated in your team to just push the way that you have for both of these teams has been very, very well done for both. I think even if I didn't see many op shots coming out from Poise, overall, just how both of these agents, both of these players leveraged a Blade Storm to really swing around, actually, for either of these teams have been superb.
Yeah. Oh man, I was just taking a look at the post game stats there. 5 first bloods for Penny, I believe 4 for Zelsis. So just doing their job as a whole. As we do have the man on the line, Zelsis here, ready for an interview, coming off a very, very close game, a really solid series. First and foremost, we are Zelsis. Congratulations.
We are Zelsis. We are Zelsis. You know how it is. No, it feels great, honestly. You know, making the closed or top 8 even from the open was good this time around. You know, we had to play phase twice in the one before, and it was kind of just unlucky seeding, and then we pulled TSM. So, you know, we've kind of gotten unlucky with matchups, but I think this time around, you know, I think we deserve to be here and have this win, and it feels great, honestly.
I definitely agree. Zelsis, congratulations first off, by the way, brother, for that victory and qualifying into the U.S. regionals. And you talked about it, unlucky seeding, tough matches, but at the same time, yesterday when we talked with Vanity, it was like, oh, well, Penny just made the switch, Vanity just made the switch, you got to give us some time. But here you are making it into the U.S. regionals. How much work was put into preparing into today versus C9 Blue?
You know,
yeah, C9 Blue, yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of go hard in scrims. Like we have some sort of work and we go hard in practice and stuff. But it just comes down to like us playing confident and how we do in scrims. I think this game is kind of like gives a lot of leeway for free play. So it's kind of you know you just kind of look for kills and then play like the man advantage and such like that with your teammates.
And it looked like that's exactly what you're trying to get done on the raid on Haven specifically. Now, I've got a question because I'm always so interested in the energy of the team. And I mean, what was it like 6 seconds? You've got Effie's running onto the site with Spike, gets the plant, and then a 3. Like, give me like a taste of the energy or the comms in a situation like that.
We all screamed. We all screamed. That was honestly like no matter who played good that match, that was like that won us the game because we were like. Am I allowed to swear? We're like we can't fucking lose now. We can't fucking lose now. Like we have to win. Like once you won that, we were like, all right, fuck this. Everything's done. Like that was the exact comms going through the team streak. So
I felt it. I felt it through an air horn graffiti onto the round after when you guys won that round too. It's like you guys are still celebrating. That was huge. As much as we want to celebrate the highest highs as well, I wanted to ask you maybe 2 maps ago or the second map on split. So we kind of had like this 2 versus 2, and then Vanity went for an ult with Omen with a spike onto A main while player 1 was in elbow. And I think the defender was making his way towards spawn. So what was the communication or the idea in terms of that strat on that 2 versus 1 to even have the spike ult outside of the site to walk into the site?
Well, you know, I gotta give credit to Anthony. You know, him and Penny just switched, like as you mentioned earlier. But Vanity on Omen, he is wild. I think him and Nitro are like the only 2 Omens that like really get crazy. Yeah, like they have some crazy shit, and I think Anthony's one of them. So he just does some random things, and it's smart. Like it works. You know, it's Valorant. So I think that's just about it.
Keep them on their toes, keep them off guard, play unorthodox. Unorthodox pretty much is how it kind of worked there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is, I think, a definition of, you know, how to play Valorant or how Valorant is played. Now, I've got another question, I guess, leading into the future. We just see, if you guys haven't taken a look or weren't watching, Xset beats Immortals 2-1. Now you guys are looking to play against that squad. Preparations or quite possibly, is that what you were expecting as you make your lower finals run?
No, I don't think we looked too hard into many of these teams. Like I said, Valorant's kind of like free play loose, and you can anti-strat and kind of study teams, but at the end of the day, you know, it's Valorant, so anything can be random. So we're just taking each map or each series by series. Like, you know, MB was close, Build by Gamers was close. This one, I think we could have won 2-0, but it was kind of a throw on split. But yeah, like I said, like each series is series by series for us.
Going to be a fun one to check for sure, because against Xset you're going in with the Astra 2, but I think that's not important right now. It's just let's have the easy question too. You've made it into the US regionals. How do you feel right now after all the hard work that you've put into this? It's not over yet, but at least describe your emotions now.
Yeah.
No, it feels great. Honestly, it really does. I had a rough start at switching to Valorant at the start, and having like a team right now and people who want to win and an org. Shout out to Version One backing us. They're really good and they do a lot for us. So right now it feels good that we can make it to the regionals for them and for ourselves. Like it's an amazing feeling. Like it's not done like you said. So we just gotta keep grinding out series by series.
For sure, for sure. Long time coming too for Player One and FEs, and it seems as though this version 1 may be the only version that you need to continue to move forward like this, because freaking well done, man. I was almost going to drop an F-bomb too when I was going to say in the halftime, I was like, is Zelsis is able to pop off like he does, and I had to correct myself. I'm just glad you did the swearing for me, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Big fan for the casting and such. I love you guys,
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it, man. Love you too. Hopefully we'll get to do more, man. Keep rocking it like that for V1.
Yes, sir,
we are Zelsis.
We are Zelsis. We are Zelsis. We are Zelsis. And shout out to Smeegs, Smeegan, FaZe guys, Baby Bay. Those are the guys. They're the homies. Shout out to them.
Awesome, man.
Well, thank you, Zelsis. We look forward to seeing you continue your run in that lower bracket. And I mean, there it is. one round at a time. They've got so much momentum. That was the Verizon post-match interview, Zelsis from version 1. And that I love when you have a team that has so much personality behind it. That is just, it's so fun to see. And then the way that they pick up that series, it just kind of the cherry on top.
Not only that, I mean, you got to give a shout out to the Schmeegs, and now you probably have the Zelsis thing. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. I mean, he's been popping off on that series as well, and you got to keep an eye open for this guy playing as a duelist, right? I think version 1, they're the real deal. When we first started the year, we were talking about LG and Immortal stepping it up. Now you have Cloud9 Blue that's stepping it up. You have Built by Gamers that's stepping it up. XSET continues to move forward, right? And then we're going to have to see now version 1 going to be in that conversation as well. So this is really awesome to see in the first quarter of Valorant in 2021 how amazing the competition is right now.
Yeah, it's just beginning to level up. So we've got a whole lot as we look forward to Valorant Champions at the end of things. We do have that flick of the day presented by AimLab ready for you guys. And you should know exactly where this is headed. The hype behind it, all the play, and just the flicks. Oh, the spray down. It doesn't get any better than that. And you heard it right in the interview. We cannot lose after this.
Yeah, and that's the recon dart that helped all of that too. Very, very lucky too for FEs that the only person that didn't get pulsed in that 3-player retake was the one that was out in the open. So after the other two, was like, well, I know where to aim. I know who's going to swing first. And FEs just played that beautifully on that 3 versus 1. So yes, like I said, I think FE's won that series for them off that round, and I think now, as you heard it from Zelsis, he understood as well.
Yeah, that again, I cannot stop smiling about the Valorant that we got to see today as we take a look at that bracket and how things lay out. As I said, XSET picking up a 2-1 win over Immortals will move forward to play version 1 later in the bracket, and I believe tomorrow we might be kicking things off up top, right? 100 Thieves taken on Envy. So the 2 Titans remaining, and then you've got the Titan Killers down below. I would say both XSET and version 1, the Titan Killers. XSET having incredible wins over certain teams, version 1 doing exactly the same, and tomorrow should deliver.
It's pretty insane, man. 100 Thieves and Envy at that point. And we've seen how good 100 Thieves looked right now from casting their series earlier on today. And looking at Envy, I've always had a soft spot for Envy to be like that team that's going to be that powerhouse moving forward into the Valorant scene in North America. And just to see these two clash against each other, it continues in that top 4 conversation. Is 100 Thieves back into this convo to be making it into the grand finals or even win this one, or is just Envy back with a point to prove that they could definitely take that #1 spot away from Sentinels?
And so that now raises a very, very important, I guess, discussion or topic, right? When you take a look at the top 4 teams, XSET, version 1, 100 Thieves, Envy, they've punched their ticket to Challengers Finals. They're looking to play for some extra cash here in this one. Now, the 4 teams that got knocked out, they get to try again in Challengers 2. But the powerhouses that didn't make it here,
it's crazy,
are probably going to join them in Challengers 2. So winning this it's so much more important because now the 4 squads that we see in this one in Immortals, Ambox, C9 Blue, BBG, they might have to play the Sentinels, the Phases, the LGs, the Gen Gs coming up in the second Challenger.
Exactly, because again, let me try to enumerate them again. So Sentinels is not in there. Phase is currently not in there. TSM still trying to figure it out, but there's a potential that they can make it. Energy's not in there. LG's not in there. And then you have these 4 teams that unfortunately got knocked out of this bracket, and you're only fighting for 4 spots to make it from open qualifier into this one, and then also fighting for, what, 2 spots in the regionals? It continues to get even tougher for these teams moving forward. So when you say you have to play your best Valorant, it doesn't matter if you only have 1 week to prepare, 2 weeks to prepare. Pull the all-nighters if you have to, because it's going to continue to get very difficult to represent the North American scene in Valorant.
That's as true as it gets. It's looking international all the way throughout. So like you said, very hard to represent NA. Only a couple of teams are going to be able to do it. Now, with that being said, unfortunately, things come to a close today. Vans, I want to toss it back to you. Anything on the way out, closing remarks from today, yesterday, or even possibly tomorrow?
Great matches overall so far. I mean, the ones that I got to cast over with Bach yesterday with you has been nothing but sheer pleasure. And going into tomorrow, I'm hoping to be able to do a watch party or watch the main stream and just enjoy the matches with the chat, because it's going to be some great matches. 100 Thieves Envy, Exit version 1. Dude, I'm not leaving my house this weekend.
Everybody locked on in for the matchups to come, and as I said, it does things for us today. Now, the action isn't over. These 4 teams are still going to be playing on through to try and get the lion's share of the cash prize that we've got, and that action starts again tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, at 2 p.m. Central. Unfortunately for today, we have to say goodbye. Now, on behalf of myself and everybody involved, we want to thank our partners helping us power the show in AIM Lab, Secret Lab, and Verizon. We want to thank you guys for being awesome, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.